Alright guys, Scrappy here, and I hope you're doing well and enjoying your day. So far, roster drama, it seems, is back on the menu before the Major 1 qualifiers have even got back underway. Zuma reveals to Octane that some team is making a change going into 2026. Reports potentially have it could be an AR player from Challengers getting picked up to the Pro League. Who is it? Which team are we potentially talking about here? HECZ also reveals a number of topics on which he has frustrations with the way that Activision have handled things in recent years. Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. Lots to get into. We're going to start here real quick because Gunless is talking about cheating over on CMG, and I'm not really sure exactly what this describes, but I just thought it was a little interesting because he's talking about he's got a hand cam, or someone's got a hand cam, so you can cheat on CMG Esports, and the worst that will happen is a replay with a hand cam. That shows nothing if he is using AI cheats. Why are we hiring admins that have no idea what cheats even look like, let alone a single thing about competitive COD? So anyway, basically, if there's some sort of cheating drama, they get a replay and the guy has to use a hand cam or something. But Gunless, what I thought was interesting here is Gunless is talking about AI cheats. Now, I don't know exactly what this refers to, but presumably there's either new cheat software or I don't know. When I first read this, I thought, is it possible that somebody has a hand cam on, but actually the hand cam is just AI generated, right? Like, are we at that point yet? Because I don't think we're far away, if we are, that people could potentially have a hand cam on showing their controller that, and, you know, not cheating or whatever, but actually that could potentially be manipulated at this point. So, yeah, I think that's going to continue to be a bit of an issue, but Gunless isn't very happy about what CMG are up to on that one. Let me share a couple of clips here from what HECZ had to say. We know that he's been talking quite a lot about a range of topics in recent days. He sat down with BenJ, and, well, they had a talk for about 4.5 hours. It's on BenJ's YouTube channel if you guys want to check it out. But HECZ has been talking about a lot of things from the Garage Mahal in recent days. He was talking about the OpTic Apex situation, or question mark on that, just because of obviously FaZe and all the drama that's happened over there. He talked a little about Lqgend as well, of course, because he was very recently on OpTic. He went to the Surge. Now, well, he's going back home to France, we understand, but the whole elite qualifier drama that's emerged over the last couple of days. I thought the more interesting clips here really were a couple where he was talking about what Activision and the CDL have done in terms of decisions over the last few years. So, look, the owners are trying to find ways to make this work, to make this profitable, to actually overcome some of the limitations, many of the limitations that has been put on this space because of the existence of the Call of Duty League. Now, HECZ talked quite a lot here about some of the... Now, of course, he can't say everything, but you know, HECZ is always as transparent as he can reasonably be, talking about opportunities that have been there for OpTic, and as a result for other teams as well. And obviously, some of these specific situations will be for OpTic because they are OpTic, but the point is a broader one, right? That if there are opportunities that HECZ has been told that he cannot pursue because of rules from Activision, the CDL, whatever, then I'm sure there will have been other opportunities that other teams will have also, you know, could have potentially had on board, but that didn't happen because the league said no. So HECZ reveals here that USAA approached him to try and sponsor OpTic, right? With close to, he says, $1 million sponsorship deal they were looking to make happen. And you would not think this would be a massively controversial sponsor, right? USAA, financial services company for the military. And even then, if it was just the straight up US Army, I'm pretty sure the league has already done sponsorship with that anyway. Look, I understand there being certain limitations on certain categories of sponsors, right? Like, sure, that's going to be the case in every league. But in this case, it's like, okay, there's a great opportunity here. It doesn't seem to go incredibly counter to some of the... Obviously, like, I'm sure they found a rule where they could deny it. But HECZ's opinion is that effectively they said no because they would be the ones seeing the money from that. And especially when it comes to in-game real estate, they decided that they wanted a piece of that pie or it wasn't going to happen at all.
That same year, I got approached by USAA with a substantial, and I mean fucking close to an M in sponsorship opportunity, but but they wanted the real estate on the back of our jersey in game.
Okay. Which people were able to do. Yeah.
The answer was
no from the league.
Yeah, the answer was no, because what was it? Military and some other stuff, you know, can't be this. And now, mind you, listen to what I'm saying. My question to you was, what at the beginning of the year? Remember USA? You do remember USA being a sponsor, right?
Yeah, and I also remember that first year they thought about doing an event on aircraft carriers. So,
Okay.
like
So why wouldn't the Huntsman be approved for the same sponsorship? Because that M was going directly to that team.
Yeah, that's about the good. Yeah.
Hey, question: Why? If it's rated M for mature, if it's 18 plus,
Yeah.
and there's bullets and guns and this that, and you're smoking bongs. Where's mine? They're being cleaned right now. But I would bring up fucking Eric Khan's fucking masterpiece. That I have two of Eric Khan's bongs downstairs right now being cleaned, sitting in that Zep.
You put some great glass on social. I'll just say that.
How can they glorify, because it is glorification, right? How can they glorify fucking accidentally a gun going off on Seth Rogen's hand and killing someone? How can fucking smoking weed be cool, but I can't put a Pine Park logo on the back of our jersey?
Yeah.
I don't. This is what I'm saying. Like the hypocrisy is not only obvious, but they just don't give a shit. Like they're saying, yeah, that's the way.
So I'm hoping that things can move in the right direction for the CDL, because there is no doubt that in many respects the league has set us back quite a long way. Let's talk about roster stuff. Octane comes out and says, when this league is back underway in a few days' time and people start getting trick-shotted again, there will be lots of challengers players who will be pulled up. There's a lot of talent out there. Now, Zuma really did turn some heads yesterday, because he mentioned on stream that there is something happening with regard to a roster change. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean roster mania precisely, because, look, I'm expecting roster mania post Major 1, with probably quite a few teams making roster changes. But at this point in the season, it's unlikely to imagine that everyone is going to be blowing it up, right? They've just had this Christmas New Year break. They're getting back into practice just over the last few days, really. I think Shotzzy said their first day of scrims back was set to be the 3rd of January. So I think some teams have been scrimming earlier than that, but effectively the teams took a good couple of weeks off. The matches are starting again in a few days' time. There's a 3-week runway effectively now into the Dallas event at the end of the month. So it's all going on, but you wouldn't expect too many teams to make changes at this point. And if teams are to make changes right now, it's definitely an interesting time to make a change. But Zuma says that, yeah, something is happening here. Octane says that he doesn't know what. I think Octane's actually being serious when he says that. So, because I know that some people are like, oh, is it Thieves? Is Kenny getting dropped? It's like, I can't imagine a world where they're dropping any top team. I would be very surprised if a top team is dropping someone before the first event, to at least see what happens when they turn up to LAN. I mean, I think you've kind of got to, in some respects, see how it goes at the first major, or unless there's some sort of reason outside of in-game reasons why a top team would be forced to make a change, kind of like what happened with OpTic and Pred last year. That was December, but, if there was a situation like that occurring, then you could see a top team making a change. But outside of that, I think it's pretty unlikely. So let me share these couple of clips, then we'll talk about who it might be.
Challengers talent pool this year is actually good, like very healthy, which is nice. Because like once the league starts booting back up and people start getting trick shotted, which they inevitably will, I think that there's a lot of players that have a case to be pulled up. So this year is a very healthy Challengers talent pool. There's a lot of people that you could argue should be in the spot right now.
Oh, I just leaked it. Oh, I just fucking leaked it, Chad. Oh shit, Chad.
What'd you leak?
I leaked the new the CDL roster mania that's going on.
Oh,
you know about it? You know about it?
Nah, I don't.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do, Sam.
Nah,
yeah,
text
you do.
me.
You actually don't?
Nah, text me.
You being dead ass?
Nah, oh god, I have no idea.
I'm telling everybody. I don't give a fuck.
I'll say it out loud when you text me. It's fine.
Like try to work like A again. I mean, like we're getting mid.
Let's go, dude. Tom has all the juice.
You want to go low right with the kips and
Yo, Val just texted me. He said, "Stop leaking." Yo, what time? It's 4:23 too. As soon as I look at my phone, you see, every time I'm texting on my phone, it's 4:23.
Wait,
Every
really,
time,
Tom?
every time, bro.
You're good.
What the fuck?
Yep, really, Sam.
Nothing low right. seen the top.
Yo, Sam, you gotta make sure that you don't.
Now, CDC Intel here says on the Reddit, it's been rumored for a few days now. I think if they wanted to let the player who's getting picked up play the Elite qualifiers with his team, so they made sure they made the Elite before finding a replacement. It's an AR player who's getting picked up. Now, I don't know who this is, so I'm intrigued to your speculation in the comments below. There's some talk about could it be Neum from the Huntsman guys, of course. And this is pretty interesting. The idea that it's a Challengers player getting picked up to the Pro League. They're an AR player, and they've been playing the last few days to qualify for the Elite. Now they're going to get signed. So let's first consider really which team could this be making a change in the Pro League, right? Because I think it's unlikely that it's Boston. They stuck their roster out the whole season last year. They've started off this year reasonably well. Very doubtful they would make a change. Ravens, there's quite a lot of talk about this roster because, well, Slasher, how long is he going to stay around on this team? Do I want Slasher to retire? No. Do I think it's very plausible that it happens this year? Yes. Now, would Slasher retire? Because if Slasher decides to leave, I don't think he's going to get dropped, right? It's going to be a situation where Slasher decides to step away, especially because Brian Saint is the coach and they get on quite well, I imagine. He's been around quite a few years on that team anyway. If Slasher wants to leave, I imagine it will be kind of on his own terms or on his own accord. And I can't imagine a world where Slasher would voluntarily step down before a major, like before LAN. I don't think Slasher wants his final ever match to be an online qualifier, right? So I don't really see that happening. And also, if an AR player is getting picked up from challenges, that implies, unless it's fellow or something, that implies an inexperienced AR player. So not really a leader replacement, right? Which is what's interesting about this potential move. Whoever this player is replacing is probably not the leader, captain of the team or whatever. So maybe there's a possibility there. I think the other thing to note is that Ravens, we've not seen their scrims against pro teams, but we have seen them scrim amateur teams in recent days, and they were actually looking pretty damn good. So I think that's a little bit more doubtful. Cloud9 is for sure possible, but I think you've also got to consider which of these teams would actually make changes right now, because it costs money to do this, right? Like, you've got to bring a player up, potentially sign them for some money. You've got to drop a player from the starting team, still pay them, even if you get rid of their contract, you've still got to pay them 2 months of salary. It's going to cost you several $1,000s to make a decision like this. And for some teams, Ravens, Cloud9, you know, some of the more budget-orientated teams in the league, you know, would you do that right now unless there's a good reason to? I'm not so convinced. I think, as I say, for the top teams, the likes of FaZe, and I don't think we're talking about a Lurqxx here either. I think that situation has been settled, unless it is FaZe making the call to bring a Lurqxx in. But again, there's visa situations to sort out there. I don't think it's that. G2, it's not an impossibility, probably either, but I would still be surprised if they make a change this early. So who do you think it is, right? I mean, as I say, Surge, they're bringing in Tej. We know that's happening. OpTic, Gentlemates. I don't think Miami, Thieves. I don't imagine they're doing anything yet. The only thing I can think is potentially the Falcons. I know they've had an okay start to the season, but there has been quite a lot of talk in recent days about this QK guy. I know there was a little bit of talk about that elsewhere as well. His performance in challenges so far looking pretty good. Is there a world where if Falcons aren't getting on, they think, all right, we'll bring him in? But of course, he's an AR player, so what would that mean, right? They're going to drop Kismet, who's currently their flex for QK. I don't know about that. So, but Kismet could also run a sub, right? So maybe Kiz goes to the sub, Exnid gets subbed out for QK. There's been a bit of talk about whether that could be an option. Certainly Cell and Pred aren't going anywhere with the money that they're on. So yeah, tweet your thoughts in the comments below. By the time I was recording this, don't know what's going on. As of later this evening, we may have more of an idea. So very much tweet your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.
When I was like 15 or 16, I went to like my first sale event.
You can plan for their side.
One of my first sale events, fucking walking past the Dr. Pepper booth.
For mids.
Like, you know how you always see those girls, right? The Dr. Pepper girls. I remember Sunday night, I saw Straight Rippin' walk in with those girls, all like one for each of them. And I thought it was like the hardest shit. Those kids, those guys were cool as fuck.
Think about it. Think about it. Only G's play for Straight Rippin'.
Yeah.
That's what I just got from that. Come on, dude.
That shit was hard. Like T squared and fucking.
Let's be honest.
Challenge. The dead on one.
Wait, to get to.